Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Daryl, how's that? You're on.
It's the Daryl Show. Microphone. You're welcome.
All right. This morning, I get the opportunity to do something just a little bit different. We honor veterans each month normally, but in this case, today, I get the honor to welcome to the community two veterans that are currently married, who had lifestyles that started early in their years, thousands of miles apart. Not knowing each other, married individuals, separate, never knew each other even while in the service, but have brought themselves together over time in a unique way. Not only, I think part of it was due to their service in the military, something very familiar and they could discuss and talk about. It brought them together initially. And so with that, I'd like to welcome Ronald and Ruth Bradford. As I said, Ruth, remarkably, she was born in 1936 in Alu, Hawaii. She was one of 14 children, one of 14. After graduating from that high school in 54, at the age of 17, she wanted to join the Women's Army Corps, but needed her parents to sign consent before she could do that because of their age. After they gave their consent, she enlisted with 12 other gals from Hawaii, as she stated, at the same time in 1954. While Ronald, born in Flint, Michigan in 1932, one of 5 children, lived in Denard, Michigan, drafted through the Selective Service Draft in the United States Army in 1952. After 12 weeks of basic training at Camp Atterbury, Indiana, he was transferred to Camp Pickett, Virginia for training as a medical corpsman. After graduation, he was shipped to Korea and served as a medic in a unit part of the 3rd Infantry Division, Marne Division. I was going to sing the song with you, but I don't think they would want to do that when I was a member as well. That's why I wore this shirt in recognition of his service to the same division, within the same division. With Ruth, throughout her time in service, she felt that the service helped her grow and to learn many new things. She was blessed to have, in her words, the best bosses and coworkers you could ever work with during her time in service. After Ruth served 2 years and received an honorable discharge in 1956, it returned to Hawaii. But that didn't last long. She shortly realized that, well, not a lot of jobs here. She had 2 sisters in California, and they had invited her anytime she wanted to come, and she decided to do that in 1956. Still not in any way, shape, or form met Ronald at this point. She was married. She had 5 children. She's a proud member to have, she's had 5, or I should say 3 Navy and 2 Army members, and she's proud to be a member also of the United States Army. And she continues to support Ronald throughout this whole journey. With Ronald, he served in the medical detachment, also following the 3rd Division in the 24th Infantry Division Artillery. During his service, he earned a Combat Medic Badge. Now, the Combat Medic Badge is the equivalent of the Combat Infantry Badge. You don't receive that unless you have administered aid to an individual in combat situations. Korea Service Ribbon, United Nations Service Medal. He was honorably discharged in 1954. After leaving the military, he took advantage of the military GI Bill and went to college. After graduating college, he worked in the ministry for many, many years. His final position with Crown International as purchasing administrator. After his first wife of nearly 60 years passed away, he says, real short, but he left out the parts I'm going to tell you afterwards, then he married Ruth in 2011, in November. But what he didn't do is said he was still in Michigan. His daughter lived here in Warsaw, and she had asked him to come and live here, and that's how things started. And he ended up living in the same location over by Kroger, together in the same facility. But I think they said somewhere around 6 years before they even started talking to each other. It's a remarkable path. Where Ronald had one daughter, 2 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren, and I told you about Ruth's 5 children. They both still live in great town of Warsaw, Indiana. Very similar in a lot of ways. Birthdays, same month. I mean, so I'll let him tell the story if he wants the details of how they met. But it seemed like it was a long period of courting, and then all of a sudden he said, he finally got wise and said, you know, I think I need to marry her. So with that, I'd like to get a round of applause for our co-veterans of the month, Ronald and Ruth Bradford. Okay. Get out of here. It's a little wider for you guys. Okay, I will, sir. I got it. Yes, sir. Okay. On behalf of the Kosciuszko County awards the Veterans of the Month, Ronald and Ruth Bradford, in recognition for both their outstanding contributions to the mission of serving the people of the United States and the residents of Kosciuszko County, and the honorable service as members of the United States Army. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I've never been sorry that I was in the Army. People have come up to me and said, "The forgotten war, huh?" And I said, "You just reminded me that it wasn't forgotten. It was not a forgotten war, and it's never been a forgotten war with me. I believe it was the hand of God that led me into the service and everything that's come to me since I've been out of the service. But the hand of God led me in another direction on 11/11/11, when my beautiful little Hawaiian wife came into my life. I was telling Daryl that when I was at Courts of Colfax, we finally met, and we were talking about the things we had in common. One thing, our birthdays were both in July. Hers is 11th, mine is the 5th. We both had exactly the same kind of car, same model, same year. We both were in the service, and we both loved each other. Now, that's about enough to be in common, so I thought I might just well marry this woman. And after marrying her, I had the privilege of going to Hawaii 4 different times to meet her lovely family. She has a big family, and we had a tremendous time the times that we've traveled together.
Ruth.
Pretty rare, isn't it? That's not very often that happens. Awesome, awesome people.
Steve? Okay, we have an appointment for Dan Richard to the Lakeland Regional Sewer District. See Jim out there, maybe. I can just tell you don't need to sell me on this idea, so, but go ahead.
Okay. Again, I'm Jim Haney with the Lakeland Regional Sewer District, and respectfully here this morning to request your consideration of appointing Richard Dan to our Board of Directors to fill the remainder of Park Smith's term, which expires in April of 2026. Park and his wife in the process of selling their home and will be moving out of state later this year. And if you had a chance to read Rich's bio, his extensive educational and work experience, we believe just will bring a wealth of opportunities in both perspectives and ideas, particularly in the areas of quality control, cost improvement initiatives, and operational metrics, as we continue to try to provide high levels of customer satisfaction for the services that we provide to the community. In addition to that, Rich has got a lengthy background in giving back to the community with his mentoring of entrepreneurs here in the community, helping Grace College with a business plan competition, those types of things. And certainly would appreciate your consideration.
Very good.
Thanks for all your years of service. You've been on there, well, since the beginning. so
Right.
Appreciate that a
Thanks.
lot.
Appreciate
Been
it.
a lot of good.
Took the pressure off us, that's for sure.
So,
Need a motion?
yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation of Richard Dan.
Second
Regional
that.
Sewer District.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you very
Very much. All right, Kip? Morning, Kip.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Just a matter of housekeeping for the Public Safety Communications Tech Committee. We have some replacement positions. I don't know, were you guys provided with the list of all the members?
No. I don't
I
have
don't know if you were or not.
I don't think that was, that probably wasn't in their package, but they've had it at one point in time.
If you got them, we'll take them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Great.
So we have had a request for a replacement for our Warsaw PD representative. It used to be Joel Beam, and Chief Whitaker has requested that Brad Keller replace him. Our Warsaw Wayne Fire Territory representative was Joel Schilling, and it's been requested that the new chief that Brian Mayo, the new chief, replaces Joel and Garrett Holderman, the old chief, on the committee. And I believe we haven't actually formally put the other names of our dispatch representative, Amanda C., in there, replacing Sarah Lancaster, and Josh Spangle for the Sheriff's Department, replacing Travis Marsh. So I'm requesting your approval of the committee.
Good. I'll make motion, we accept the recommendations.
I'd second that, but just a reminder, this is for our Public Safety Communication Tech Committee that we have, that, our new communication system, and it's just really important that we have kind of this committee that helps make those tough decisions on channels and frequencies and equipment and specs and all that stuff. So, I mean, this is something that, glad to see we've got a committee that really helps keep our system in tip-top shape and where it needs to be. So, I second the motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thanks, Skip. Okay. Lee with Makeup? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Leah Thill. I'm with the Michiana Area Council of Governments, and I'm coming to you this morning with a request for your endorsement of a letter of support that MACOG is requesting for a grant application to the U.S. Department of Transportation's Charging and Fueling Infrastructure Program. This can pay for propane, CNG, but what we're looking for is a grant for electric vehicle charging stations, and we're putting together a regional package of prioritized rural locations and small towns across the region, as well as multifamily, because we see those as being gaps where investment is not flowing from the private market, and we're not seeing lots of charging stations popping up here. The ones downtown were secured in part through a grant that MACOG assisted with. So we see the trend of automakers going towards all plug-in and all electric vehicles in 10 to 15 years, and we have concerns about whether that investment is flowing in rural areas in our region. So we're asking just for statement of support. We don't foresee any of these locations would be located on county facilities at this time. And, but we do welcome partnerships with private entities, schools, libraries, other entities who would like to host charging stations as part of our grant application. Currently, the only location in our grant is in Winona Lake near their town hall. But we're actively in conversation with other towns and other project partners. So these would generally be destination level charging, slower, but we would even be open to including something on US 30 because there's not anything fast between Fort Wayne and the Chicago area at this time.
Very good.
So just a little background for you on that.
Lee, I'd make a
Questions?
motion to approve. I know that trying to keep a competitive application here, it's good to have the support of all the counties that are in the MACOG region. So I'd look to make a motion to approve.
Questions?
I'll second his motion.
What's that?
I'll second his motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
all right.
Thank you, Lee.
All right. Any office holders?
Dun, dun. Come on down. The next
Morning,
one.
gentlemen. Good morning.
I got Lieutenant Mike Mulligan with me this morning. Mike oversees our patrol division at the sheriff's office, and with that, he also oversees our fleet. And he's got some requests for you this morning, so I'll turn it over to Mike.
I believe you guys were sent the documentation on this year's vehicles out of the commissioner's vehicle budget. We're requesting 5 Dodge Durangos to be purchased through Warsaw Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 3 of those vehicles will be used in a administrative support role. Our lead K-9 guy, our PIO, and then 1 in investigations. The other 2 will be patrol, used in patrol for 2 of our shift sergeants. And this, like I said, this would just come out of the budget, the commissioner's budget that was approved for our yearly vehicles to help maintain the rotation of the fleet.
And those are already budgeted, you just need to, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd make, any further discussion, I'd make a motion that we accept your request.
Second that?
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, anybody else? Department heads? All right, Ed?
No public report.
Marcia?
Yes, I have one item that you don't see on your agenda here. Out at the Highway Department, there is an IT room. It has a rack. This is where our off-site storage of data is maintained. And through our recent assessment with Purdue, that we knew that there was an issue there. The door is left open, but for secure reasons for that rack and the information contained there. We need to have the proper airflow provided to keep the cool air, the cooling in that, for that system. I have a quote here from Core Mechanical to put in a mini split. It's $11,850. It's that much just because of the location of the room. The room is at the front of the building, and everything has to go to the rear of the building.
Okay, that'll add security to that room too. We can be able to secure that area where now it's not so secure. Okay, make a motion, we accept your request.
Second that.
Any discussion or questions? All's in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That it, Marcia?
Yes, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Rhonda?
Yes, I come before you today to present an addendum for our tax sale vendor, which is SRI. They're raising the tax sale fees to $125. They were prior $100. The last time they raised it was in 2019. Just need a motion.
Now, any questions?
I mean, those fees, there's fees we're able to charge the buyer of the
Yeah,
property. so
they
we're
get
kinda
added to the
reimbursed.
property tax bill, and that's included in the purchase for the tax sale.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Very good.
Thank you, Marcia. Or
Rhonda.
Rhonda? Yes, Rhonda. All right, then we're gonna add one thing in here. Carrie, you wanna discuss health insurance renewal?
Yeah, so mainly we're talking about our stop-loss carrier for our county insurance. Because we're self-insured, there's a stop-loss policy that takes care of large claimants after the fact. And the recommendation of our board is our group is to stick with our current carrier, which is Sun Life. And it is actually a negative. So, I mean, as far as it's going down by 1%. So in the face of a lot of increases in health insurance, between the negotiations and just the work that's been done by a lot of different parties here, both here in the county and outside the county, in negotiation, as well as just trying to increase the health of our employees through our health and wellness program, we actually seen a negative 1.03% in our health insurance renewal. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the Sun Life being our stop-loss carrier for this next policy year.
Second.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on it? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? All right. I would just like to thank Carrie, you and Marcia. I know spent a lot of time and really worked hard, and I know there's a lot of others too. And we're able to get us an amazing
Yeah.
situation where we actually went
Yeah.
down. It's unheard of.
What
So
he
thank
said.
you.
For you.
So, all right.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything come before the commissioners? We don't, no questions.
Yeah, opioid community county applied for, have you heard anything about that? Got anything to get it or anything?
We're still waiting for information to come through on that.
It's supposed to be the first part of May, but they didn't say just when, so. Yeah.
We have received a letter that's stating that we will be awarded some of that money, but there's no, I don't know that there's been a meeting date set or a dollar amount of the award yet, so. But there was an email that was sent out last week. I guess I thought everybody was on that list, but.
I didn't get any.
Exactly, pretty much, yeah. We're getting some money, we don't know how much yet, so.
Yeah, we knew that going in, yeah.
Well, I think the reason that it's a little different is they're really looking at the program or plan that you're putting together, and they want to make sure the funding that they're going to award to you will, is a program that they want to see implemented or they feel as though it would be impactful for the community. So I think some of it has to do with, we've presented a kind of a high-level plan, and this, they're going to want more detail behind that. How you would really build that out to solidify what those funding amounts would be.
Okay.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Not, we'll plan on seeing everyone in 2 weeks on May 23rd.
guess the thing that I see is just that way, those communities, one that can do it, and we don't have to.
Right, no, if it would have been us.
Got a pen, we want a pen, we need a